Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Ben Shatliff Online, a special edition on this Saturday, January the 22nd, 2022, in view of the week's big political news story. Everybody was expecting a tough Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday for the Prime Minister Boris Johnson. However, just beforehand, it was announced about the defection of Christian Wakeford, the Conservative MP for Bury South constituency, going straight to Labour. As it just happens to be, where I live here, the background might be slightly different because I've had a slight change around in this room, but this is Bury South constituency. Christian Wakeford is my MP, and I have met him on different occasions. I'll give you my take on the situation in a few moments, because of course, really by rights, I've got to be impartial. I'll give you my slight take on the scenario. But when you read around and hear and gauge people's reactions over recent days, some people are happy that Christian has decided to go to Labour. Some people are saying there should be a by-election. And some people feel that they are annoyed because they elected a Conservative MP. And of course, has now gone to Labour. Other people are also saying, why was there no consultation with the rest of the constituency? One thing I will say, politics aside, is the fact it has raised the profile of Bury South constituency. When you see the local precinct in Prestwich appear on ITV News at 10, and you see other parts of the constituency as well, it's also raised about the fact of Radcliffe and a school that was promised to the town, and also other things as well, such as the Bury folk keep it green to make sure that the greenbelt land is kept preserved, and also the fight for the clean air zone, which has been going on over recent months, but that in itself has kind of come to a slight temporary head. It's raised the fact that people are not happy about it. And of course, then there's been talks of being forced by the chief whips to, if you don't do this, then there wouldn't be the new school funded for Radcliffe. Bury South constituency was initially at one stage Prestwich and Prestwich and Middleton, or even Middleton and Prestwich, depending which way you say. And then it eventually became Bury South. It consists of three major towns: Prestwich, Whitefield, and Radcliffe. It also covers the villages of Ainsworth and Simister, which is where I used to live. I spent the first 31 and a half years of my life, or 31 and a quarter years of my life, living in a small village, and I still have very close links to the village. I don't live too far away from it, and I just think to myself about how life was like when you're growing up there 40 years ago and enjoying certain things. That's why I always say about keeping the green belt, because I would like my two nephews and all other young ones to appreciate, be able to do the things that me and my brother used to do when we were that particular age. Bury South constituency is on the fringe of Manchester city centre. It's only a few miles away, and once you come out of Bury South constituency, you then officially become part of the Manchester City Council area. So that is why a lot of people that live in either Prestwich or Whitefield do tend to think about Manchester, because it's the big city and everybody has the postcodes of M20 or M40 something. And in Radcliffe as well, they also have the M postcodes. So we are on the border of Greater Manchester. Well, we're all in Greater Manchester. We're on the border of Manchester City Council. We're also on the border of Rochdale Borough Council as well, plus also Salford. So we are well and truly in an area where there's quite a few different things going on. As I say, not everybody is happy with the decision. Some people are supporting, some people are saying, right, okay, the Labour Party are now in control of Bury South again. And there's also been meetings that took place a few days ago where the Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves appeared here in this constituency, and Christian was also welcomed on stage by the leader of Bury Council, Eamon O'Brien, shook hands and smiled. And of course, the Mayor of Greater Manchester was also sat next to and it was also sat next to Christian as well. So these are some background into the constituency. Working towns and a mixture of both the working and middle class as well, plus also some very rich people that live within the areas as well. I just kind of pointed at myself there. I'm not in that category, sadly, but I'm just trying to just look at some of the demographics of this constituency. It was Conservative up until 1997, when my good friend Ivan Lewis won for Labour in 1997. Ivan wasn't happy with the way that things were going with Labour with Jeremy Corbyn, and he stood down as a Labour MP in 2018 and went independent, and that only lasted for a year. And of course, it was a general election in 2019 when he went back to the Conservatives and to Christian Wakefield. So theoretically, if you look at the actual political threshold of Bury South constituency, it's gone from Labour, Independent, Conservative, and now Labour again within the space of just over 3 years. So that is quite an interesting scenario when you think about it. So whichever way, the main thing that needs to be focused on here is the people of the constituency. I'm talking about myself, I'm talking about on the broad shoulder here, looking at everybody else involved here. So it's whatever is best for the constituency. Now, people are saying about a by-election, and I also looked at what happened in Peterborough when the constituency voted for a recall. But the recall was mainly triggered because the Labour MP at the time was in prison. What Christian has done is gone from one party to another, so there's no legalities in that kind of sense. So it's not as if the recall which was operated in Peterborough might not be something that could be done here, but with clarification would need to be done in relation to that. My own personal opinion, and I have kind of been in a similar scenario, but not actually been at parliamentary level, but I stood down when I was a council candidate back in 2010 because I wasn't very happy with the way that things were. If I was in Christian's shoes, I would have become an independent as opposed to crossing the floor to the Labour Party. But there's also been calls, people have said, why don't you fight from within? We all know that there is some very, very hostile situations going on regarding the Prime Minister Boris Johnson. So fighting from within is one thing, and then seeing how things go. But whatever the scenario is, we are now in the situation in which we are here in Bury South constituency. And what we need is for work to be done to help all the people in this constituency. And as I said earlier on during the week, it's not just here in Bury South, it's not just here in the United Kingdom, but there's lots of problems going on around in this world at the moment. And really what we don't need is any further distractions or any further unneeded situations to kind of take us away from what is going on around the world at the moment. My thoughts are with the people of Ukraine at the moment, and also the people of Afghanistan. When you see some of those pictures which ITV News have very well put together, the world is not a very, very good place at the moment, and that's why on Wednesday I actually said we need to just take a pause for a moment and just think about some of the things which are going on around the entire world at the moment. On a personal basis, we lost our family dog Bailey this week, so that's why I've been a little quieter than what I normally would be. But we do need to look at everything that goes on around this world and try and make this world a better place. So I hope I've been objective and just given a slight personal insight there, and also gave some demographics into Bury South constituency. It's not Sunday afternoon, by the way, in case everybody's thinking, why am I speaking on a Saturday? I did say yesterday that I would do a special programme today, just in view of this week's developments. Ben Shatliff on Sunday will still be around tomorrow. On tomorrow's programme, rather than looking necessarily at the last 7 days like we normally do, as next Thursday is Holocaust Memorial Day, we'll have the first of two special programmes to remember the victims of the Holocaust. On this Saturday, January the 22nd, 2022, I wish everybody a very good afternoon. Goodbye.